everybody. Welcome to the ROUS Miniatures Design Studio. This is episode 4, I think. And today, I think we're gonna get almost to the point, if not to the point, where we can actually start thinking about 3D printing what I've been working on. So let's bring her up, shall we? So last time I finished posing the left arm, I think, and kind of futzing about with that, and then I started the hair, and I was having a lot of fun with the hair. But I think today I'm gonna finish this hair. That's my goal, and then maybe if I have time, maybe I'll put something on her back too. Yeah, probably, if I have time. But let's just start with the hair. So I was looking at this earlier, and there is something kind of off about the hair that I think is wrong, and I think it's because I decided to split the hair at this ear. But the hair over here towards the back is way lower than the hair in the front, even though, you know, the same forces are still working on it. So I think I need to bring these locks up to about the same level as this. Even though that's going to affect the printability, I think it just looks funny if the hair isn't flowing the same sort of path as this front hair. So I'm going to grab this. I'm just gonna bring it up here. Hopefully there's just something off about it that I think looks funny. I'm gonna fix it. Alright. So already I do think that looks a bit better. But now I do also see that it's kind of moving. It's moving backwards, whereas this hair is moving forward. So I think I also need to fix that. So let's start with this one. Let's bring it over here and rotate it a bit that way to make it look a bit more natural. Bring it over here to match. And oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, that already looks a lot better. That is going to affect the printability, and I'm going to need to do something about this overhang right here. But it looks better. It just looked so off before, so this is good. And that's you know, I can work with that. I just need to put a little something in there to help out later. So now let's do the other half of her hair. Let's grab this one, and let's grab these 3. Let's duplicate those, and then move them back, move them up. Nope, gotta rotate them separately. Maybe I can kind of do that, but I lose. I think I need to do these kind of one at a time. Okay. Alright, let's start with this one here. Let's start making that look a little better. Let's bring that in. Then we're gonna bring this up. Kind of like that. Rotate it a bit. Grab this, move that out that way, rotate it a bit. And then we got hair that's going over. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, these two are really out of whack though. Let's delete this one. Let's work just with this one for now. Actually, I'm gonna delete that too, Because this one has the perfect shape, I think. So I'm just gonna duplicate this one again. And let's bring it about here. Grab that. Rotate it. Yeah. Okay. Now I think the rest of her hair here, I think maybe this is where her part is. And I think the rest of her hair is going to come down this side of the head. So I'm gonna grab this. I'll pick which one I want to duplicate here. Yeah, I think that one. And we're gonna really change this one around. Let's dissolve this one for now. We can add it back later if we need to. And let's just bring it around this way. Yeah, like that. That looks pretty good. Let's scale it up a little bit and just make sure it meshes nice with this little area here. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. The only thing is that I might... Where is this hair gonna go? Because right now the only place I can have it go is right in front of her face. So I think I'm gonna bring this one. It's actually gonna go back around the ear. Just to make room for those other locks. Which actually means I think I'm going to have to add this extra piece back in. So let's bring it over here. Hey, so for those of you that have just joined us recently, I'm going to finish the hair today. That's my goal. I'm going to finish the hair today. And then maybe if there's time, I'm gonna put something on her back. I really hope we get there because I'm excited about that part. But I think we should be almost ready to 3D print this miniature. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see where the hair ends up. Also, another thing you might have missed is that I did fix this lock of hair. It wasn't flowing in the same pattern as the hair in the front. Even though as she moves, it would all be under the same force, so it'd probably be about the same height. I think that was the cause of the weird dissonance in her hair that we were seeing, because now I think it looks a lot better. It did create an extra overhang, which I am going to have to deal with by adding a little support here, but that's okay. I'd rather the miniature look good after printing. Alright, let's bring this back a bit. I think that hair looks really good. I like that one. So let's finish the back section of hair here. And bring it right in like that. Scale it down, up a bit, I think. Yeah, I probably should have done. I should be doing these back locks first. Actually, because I think this one needs to scale down a bit to look right, like that. Then I can get this one to behave. So let's seat it where that part is, bring it down a bit, rotate it like that. Just like that, I think is good. We're gonna need to bring this way in, because that's so far out there. And then this one, her hair isn't supposed to be going into her shoulder like that. That's not how hair works. Last time I checked. Yeah. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then we'll grab that. I think even make it a little bigger. to make it really pop. Make another one, scale it down a little bit, fix where this is going, and we have, I think, fairly functional hair other than this little spot here. That looks kind of funky. So let's figure that out. I think if I take this and I move it in farther, I can take this, erase it up, and move it in like that. That looks a lot better. And it covers up a bit more of this scalp. Like that. We're kind of losing the part a little bit because they're interweaving, but I don't think that's going to show up on the print. I think all we're going to see, these little caverns in here, that's going to get filled in. And we're just going to see, if I zoom out, we're just going to see this V, this sort of curvy V shape. I think that's good. So I think I'll keep that. Alright, so now I just need to put a few locks here that will be going down in front of her face. So let's grab one and move it on over. Just like that. And this one has to go in front of the ear. In fact, I'm gonna dissolve this segment for now. Oops. Not the segment, the vertices. I had to hit the undo button, which means I need to pop a save, as always. Okay, nope, I do need that. I do need that extra little bar in there so that I can loop it around like that. Yeah, there we go. Let's grab this whole thing. Let's scale it up a little bit. And let's grab this, because remember, her hair is moving that way. It's moving to her right. So let's rotate it like that and bring it this way. In fact, I think, now that I'm mentioning that, I need to bring these three locks over a bit that way too. Just to reinforce that, yes, the hair is moving to her right. Yeah, that's good. Although I am going a bit into her head there, so I'm gonna need to subdivide that and get another bar so that I can loop it outside of her head. There we go. That looks good. Alright. Man, we are so close to being done with this. I am excited. It's been a long road. I'm thinking maybe for a future episode I'll actually show you, I mean, this is what I started the episode with, remember? And this, I made this too. You know, this isn't, there's a lot of work just to get to this point. And I'd like to show that to you all someday. But I want to finish this project. Or at least get it to the point where I know I can do further work on it quickly and easily. I think this is a fun project to be my first design studio. I'm really excited about this project. Okay, let's scale this one down a bit. Let's make sure, oops, just this one please, thank you. Let's make sure we don't cut into her head too much. Let's make sure I'm touching this for printability. Now let's not have these intersect too much either. let's get another bar in there. There we go. That looks better. Okay. One more piece of hair, I think, should do it. I'm gonna make it a really small one, though. And let's bring it down into her head a bit. Oops. Backwards, please. Okay, and then we'll bring this out. Bring it around the head. And grab this one. Bring that down. That one's actually getting in her face a little bit, but that's okay. Apparently elves don't enforce strict military hair codes. Just, do what you want. You can't, hey, Dadakak, thanks. I think it's looking good, too. Alright, so dang, is there anything else we want to change with this hair? This is looking pretty good. There's no hair down her back here. I think that's okay, though. It enforces, like, I don't know, her part is pretty well taken care of and goes to either side. No, I think it's fine. It also reinforces that this area of her head back here is very shaved, where the helmet, the headgear, meets the skin. So I think that's looking pretty good. Yeah. So let's see. I think I'm done with the hair. Until I see how that actually prints, I'm not gonna know if I like the final product or not, because some weird things might happen when it prints that I'm not foreseeing. So I'm gonna call that good. Putting the pumpkin cyber. I really like this. I mean, okay, we're going to add the thing on her back that I've been talking about and so excited about. So these elves, I actually want to give them a almost like a samurai theme, Japanese. So I think she has a knife. That's all well and good, but I think she needs a sword too. So I'm just gonna design a sword here. I've never designed I'm gonna design a katana, a Japanese sword. Never designed one, so we'll see how this goes. Let's make it its own. We'll make it its own collection, I think. Either that or let's put it in finished items. Well, that's technically only for items that are finished. Oh well. Maybe I'll move it out later. So let's start with, what's the general shape of a katana? So you need it's probably like a circular handle. So probably a cylinder would best serve us. Yeah, that's pretty big. Let's cut it down. Cut it down even more. It's also very tall. Alright, we'll work with that. That's fine. So we'll name this as Katana Grip. Let's scale it, but not in the Z-axis, to try to get the general shape. So I'm going to hide our elf here. Alright, so there's our general shape. Let's give it a little hilt. Oops, oh, hang on. Excuse me. Oh, I hate when this happens. There we go. Okay. Sometimes I get my mouse in a form that I don't like to use it in. Okay. So how do I want to... I need the, this will be the base of the grip. Let's just try to get the general shape for now. So let's go into edit mode. Let's grab this and we'll extrude, not by that much, jeez. Extrude by, it doesn't matter too much, but we'll extrude by that much. Sure. Now let's grab all of these faces. Not that one. Not that one. Nope, don't want that one. Just want... Okay, it's not letting me do that. That's okay. I know a different way to do this. There we go. Now it... Oh, it never was selected. Okay. So let's... I think this will work if I extrude and then I scale. Scale not in the Z-axis, thank you. Perfect. Okay. Sure. Now I think, let me pull up a reference image of a katana because I need to know what one looks like. Okay, there we go. Alright, so it looks like the handle is almost an oval. So let's scale it in the Y a bit. Like that. That looks good. And then I'm wondering if I want to add a new object for the blade. Let's give it a small hilt. Oh no, it doesn't look like these katanas really have hilts, so we're not going to do that. We'll try to make it somewhat realistic here. So let's add a new shape to make the blade. Oh, not like that. I accidentally added a shape as part of the object. That's not what I was looking for. So I get to do my favorite thing and hit the undo button. Which, of course, reminds me, I have not saved in a while. Yeah. Alright, so let's get out of edit mode and then add the cube. And we'll scale that way down. And we'll just scooch it up to about there. And we'll grab this and just move it way up to about sword-ish height. Okay. That looks good. Let's scale it in the Y quite a bit. So one thing about making swords and other small items, you know, in real life they're very thin. But if I make it to scale, it's not going to print well, it's going to be super fragile. And one thing about miniatures is that you always exaggerate things that people like to look at, or that are small and difficult to print. Because when it comes out, generally people just sort of don't mind or don't notice that things are actually out of scale. So that's very true with the hands, the feet, facial features, swords, and things like that. You just want to make them bigger to make them easier to work with and very visible because they're interesting and people want to look at them. So they're very forgiving if they're a little out of scale. So one thing about katanas is they do have this very gentle curve. That I gotta figure out. Okay, so it looks like it's kind of... It's already supposed to be kind of cattywampus here. So let's rotate it a bit like that. Just a tiny bit. Actually, let's not rotate it yet. I don't want to work in a slightly askew plane right now. So let's grab these. Let's just move it a tiny bit. bit. Grab these. Just a tiny bit. Grab these. Just a tiny bit. Try to get that gentle curve. That looks about right. And I think a little bit more is in order. Let's see. I'm not really liking that. So I have an idea here. Let's see if we can just get a reference image in here that I can use to design this. Doesn't really matter what it is, it just has to be any sort of straight-on picture of a katana that I can base my design around. So I'll show you a new little capability of Blender here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an empty image. It's been a while since I've done this, so this will be fun. And I'm going to go to open an image. And I don't know if you guys can see that. No, you can't. Oh well. Well, a menu opened that I can select pictures from. Because I downloaded a katana picture just for this. At least I thought I did. Let's try that again. Katana images. And let's save image as. Oh, that's why it's not showing up. Whoopsies. Try a different image. Oh, here, maybe this will work. Save image as PNG, thank you. That should work. Design Cyber Elf. Cyber Guns. Cyber Elf. Elf Guns. Katana. Alright, there it is. There's the image. Look at that. So what that does is allows me, it's even almost sized correctly. And let's mirror on the X. Alright, so it's not a perfect straight-on shot of what I'm looking at, but it does get me the general idea. So I'm actually going to just delete this blade object, and I'm going to start a new one. And I'm going to start it as a plane. And then I'm going to actually delete a bunch of stuff. I'm going to delete these and that, so that I just end up with this point. I'm going to call it blade. Well, a little more. Katana blade. And then I'm just going to scooch this right up on here. And I'm just going to line it up with that. And then I'm going to extrude. And I'm just going to follow the line of this katana. Let's make a save quick. Spin a bit. But yeah, I just basically outline this picture. And that'll get me the exact shape I'm looking for. I think this blade part, I think this is gonna end up looking much better than if I just tried to wing it. If you're ever in doubt about the shape of something, using a reference image really helps out. So Especially since something like this, it's such a gentle curve. It's kind of hard to get right. And then I can grab these two. I can hit J. No, I can't join them. Why not? Let's see. Here, there's a different way I can do this. I can extrude this way, grab both of them, and I can merge them. And now we have, I'm gonna hide my image now, actually, now that I've got the shape. Now we have, look at that. Look at how much better that already looks. Gosh, that's great. Okay. So now we have this plane that is the general shape of the object. So let's make it into a face. Like that. And then let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's extrude by 0.05. Oh, wow. Maybe not 0.05, huh? Extrude by 0.05. That was too much, huh? Okay, 0.01. There we go. And then we'll do, I think we'll do the same on the other side. Grab all these, extrude negative 0.01. Extrude 0.01. That way. There we go. So we end up with this general shape. Now that looks pretty good. It's definitely way bigger than my handle though, so let's make my handle just bigger in general. Move down a bit. And then let's, yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah. So, the other part about this is that it's going to be on her back, but it's going to be sheathed, right? She doesn't have just a naked blade on her back. She'll cut herself. So, I'm actually going to make this into the sheath for the sword, not necessarily the sword itself. But I do want to keep this object to make it into the actual blade later, because I will probably end up using that for a different mini. So I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to rename it Katana Sheath. And then I'm going to grab that blade item, and I'm just going to hide it. Katana Grib? No, it's a grip. Thank you. Alright, let's make a save. And so this is a sheath, so it's going to be a lot bigger than the blade. So let's just start by scaling it. Hang on. Alright, it is kind of scaling it in a funny manner. So let's move the origin to the center of mass. And then we can scale it. Actually, come to think of it, I don't want to scale it in the z-axis. Do I? I do not. So let's scale it. Oh, come on, just that. Scale in everything but the z. And that just makes it thicker without making it taller. It doesn't have the exact perfect shape anymore, but that's okay. Is it okay? Oh man, now I might be. Now I'm backtracking. Let's bring that picture up again. It's almost the perfect outline of the picture. So funny thing, here is the sheath, and is maybe what I should have used. So let's, now that I've made the blade object, let's go in the complete opposite direction and make a totally different object for the sheath. So We're gonna do the exact same thing as we did with the blade. Shouldn't take us long. But we're gonna use that sheath image for reference. We'll call this katana sheath. And plop it right there. And we'll do the same thing. And just extrude points along this picture. This should get us the correct shape, while still being the right proportions to be actually bigger than the blade. And we're not going to worry about this sort of wrapping right now. We'll do that later. Grab these, Control M. I think, no, it's not Control M. We'll just do that. Okay. Put a face in there. And then we will hide this again. We'll extrude 0.01. Grab this, extrude, nope, not negative. Extrude 0.01. Then pop this up there. Okay, let's make it a bit thicker by moving this GY negative 0.01. Not negative, 0.01. Ah, geez, struggling here. GY 0.01, thank you. GY negative 0.01, thank you. Okay, there we go. Alright, now let's select this and let's see what a subdivided surface modifier does to it. It'll round it out. Okay, interesting. What if I... well, hang on, let's make a save before I start subdividing, before I go any further. Let's give it a few more edges to round it out. That's pretty good. Let's give it one more though. And that's probably about right. It's probably what we're looking for. Alright. I'm liking this general shape. Let's give it some pizzazz now. Let's grab all of these edges. And let's extrude. Extrude and then scale. Scale and not the Z. No, let's just scale in the Y. Just give it a bit more geometry to make it a little more interesting. Okay. Now this shape is weird. I don't really know how much I like this side of the sheath, but that's okay. Let's give this side something to look at. Alright, I'm going to isolate my view on just this. Get on this side. And let's grab these. These, oh, not quite. Let's grab these. These. And these. let's do the reverse of what we did on the other side, and let's extrude in. Just like that. Yeah, that looks good. I wonder what'll happen. What happens if I extrude this? Okay, it just gets a little thicker. Scale in. No, nah, it didn't really do much. Alright, we'll leave that. Alright, let's bring the other pieces back. Yeah, this looks fine. But I do want to change the handle. The handle looks very plain. So one thing, I think it's probably going to end up being a little too small. So let's grab all of that and that, and we'll scale in not the Z just to make the handle a bit bigger. And we'll bring the handle a bit down, actually. Actually pretty far down. Yeah. To make the sword, the blade, not seem like it's super long. What time are we? 7:42. Okay, we got time. Hopefully I can get this on her back before 8 o'clock here. Not gonna rush it, but I'd like to. I'd like to get there. So let's grab these edges here, and let's do a bevel on those, like that, and scale that in. I think all of these need to be brought down a little bit. It is pretty thick, and I think it kind of messes with the look of the sword. Okay. That looks pretty good. Let's round out the bottom here a bit with a bevel. And scale that in. Make the bevel a little better. Now I do think I want to do, if I bring that image back, it has this cool pattern, this sort of stitching pattern on it that I would like to maybe not emulate perfectly, because that's not going to show up, but I would like to do something to insinuate that's there. So how should I do that? That's a pretty interesting pattern. It is kind of hard to replicate, especially since I don't know how the weaving is actually done. It's the same thing with me wanting to make a braid in the elf's hair. I don't know how to braid. So how am I gonna do that? Alright, so one thing that strikes me right away is that the curve of the blade was made in mind. This should probably be at an angle as well. So let's start by doing that, because that's actually gonna bother me. I'd rather get that done before worrying about any more detail. And it should be fairly easy if I just pull this down like that and rotate like that. Maybe not quite so much. I can fiddle with it a little bit. That looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks good. Maybe tiny bit more this way. Yeah. Okay. But then let's grab this, all that, and let's rotate it a bit like that. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'll leave it like that. That's good. All right. Let's bring this up a bit. Okay. So about that grip, it's definitely a weird pattern to try to emulate. I think the best way, because I also, you know, I could do it in sculpt mode. That would probably take me a long time, but also it probably wouldn't show up because it needs to be, since it's so small, if I did it exactly how the sort of leather work is done in real life, it wouldn't show up. So I need to kind of make it exaggerated to make it pop a little bit. And I think maybe the best way of doing that is some sort of weird trapezoid object. Rotate it like that a bit. Scale it in the Y. There's definitely a modifier to do spirals. Can't remember what it is though. Yeah, I didn't plan into this what I might do, so I'm, you know, oh, there's a screw modifier. That sounds about right. What does that do? You know, if I knew what the screw modifier did, I bet that'd be really great. In this case, I don't, so we're gonna leave it. For now, we're just gonna leave it as it is. And we're gonna bring back, what we're gonna do is we're going to duplicate these objects, and we're gonna call this Katana Sheathed. And then we'll grab Katana Sheath 01, Katana Sheath, and we'll join them. Oh, we're not going to join them because I need to apply that modifier first. Otherwise it doesn't work. Then we'll join them. Alright, and we have this. We will move that to our L4 collection. And we're gonna slap it on the elf and see what it looks like. Alright, so first off, obviously, it's massive. So let's deal with that. Also, there's two of them. Katana Sheath, Katana Sheath. Let's hide that for now. Okay. So it's massive. Let's scale by 0.5. See where that gets us. That's actually probably about right. For reference, let's put it up near her hand. If she were holding it, yeah, okay. So katanas are supposed to be, you know, wielded in two hands, but they can be wielded in one. So I think the size of the hilt is about right, which I think puts us right where we want to be with this sword. So let's... We're not going for 100% accuracy here, which is why I feel safe putting it on her back. Historically, you could never hope to draw a sword off of your back, but rule of cool. Plus, there's a grenade on her belt right there, so that's not really an option. Okay, let's move it a bit away from her. Let's move it up. And we're gonna go for 2 points of contact here. One on her back, which we already have, and then one right down here off her butt. Right there. Okay, we do have to move this part out a bit. Let's just move it out like that, and rotate it like that to get that contact again. Make sure that it's touching up here. Bingo. All right. That is an overhang, which means that is going to need a support. But that's okay. That's an easy spot to support, because it's just a square that's easy to clip off and you won't see it. Dual wielding Nodachis? The big old two-handed katana style swords? Yeah. You know, maybe I'll get around to that. Maybe I'll just make a giant super buff guy who just has giant swords. Go into anime territory. Alright. So this is looking pretty dang good. I love what I got here. So I think so okay. One thing that I did on total accident is I very purposefully did something brilliant that I'm so proud of and want to share with you. There used to be a major overhang underneath her chin, but look, I fixed it. Planned it. Her hair is actually going to really improve the printability of that spot, because now when the 3D printer layers up, it'll be able to use that hair as support for the chin, which used to be a big overhang. So that's pretty great. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Okay. Enough of that. So, we're almost ready to export this for 3D printing. I've got 8 minutes left. I'm going to show you one method of making supports here. And well, let me preface this. There are easy ways to make supports in a 3D printing program. Very easy to do that. But something like this isn't quite as cut out for that, and it's easier to make a support like this if you just do it here. So if I just make a cylinder, I'll call it ELF for support 1. Scale it and everything but the Z. And this is all support is. It's just a bridge. It's just a bridge to connect something to something else. Rotate X 45. And there. That's not the most stylistic or the fanciest support I could make, but it's very functional. Very functional. And let's grab this, scooch it up a bit, rotate it like that, scale it in a bit, just like that. That's a support. That is something you'll just clip off after it prints, just to make sure that the hair prints better. This hair here, I'm just going to use the 3D printing program I have to put a support on that, because that's easy. Same with this, same with that. There's going to need to be a support here. And then, depending on how I want to print it, I can either have her feet planted directly on the bottom of the printer, or I could put supports under that as well. So we got 6 minutes left, where I'm just going to clean up a few things on this. Let's see. So there's a few. It's actually not too much to clean up. This isn't going to show up on the 3D print, so that's fine. This little bit here, I mean, that might show up on the 3D print. Probably not, because it's super obvious to us that there's that bulge there. But if you look right here, this is the line. You know, the shading here makes it super obvious to us, but that's a very shallow divot. So I actually don't think that's going to show up. So I think I'm going to leave it. What else? I think this has actually turned out really well. That won't show up. Grenade's good. Yeah. Alright. Let's export all of this. So what I'm going to do now, let's pop a save quick. I'm going to grab all of these objects, and I'm going to export them as one object. To give us, I'm going to export it as an STL, and I'll call her Cyber Elf. Well, I guess 1, 2, 3 after the file name, and we'll call her test. Selection only, and export. And then, just to show you, I'll import it back in. Import. And there she is. Let's scooch her off to the side here. There she is. One cyber elf with katana, pistol, reloading. Ready for the test print. I'm super excited. I'll get that all ready to go, and I will probably print it off and share pictures of it with you guys on Wednesday at 7 when I run my episode 5. And as for what we do on that day, we may be doing more elf stuff depending on how the print goes. There could be stuff I want to change. Maybe I'll take a break from the elf and I'll do a different project. I have a lot of projects I'm working on. But yeah, I think that's actually about it for today. Yeah, we're ready to go. Look at this. I'm excited. So, thanks for tuning in. If you want to check out my videos, they're actually all now being uploaded as well to YouTube. ROUS Miniatures is my channel. If you haven't followed me and you like what I do, give me a follow. It really helps me out. And I'm also working on getting a storefront up, actually, on MyMiniFactory, which is a digital file distribution where you'll be able to get a hold of my designs. In the works. Hopefully this week I'll get my first storefront up. But yeah, thanks for coming, and have a good night. See you next time.